Now that Will understands why we breathe and how we breathe, he has a better appreciation for physical activities, such as swimming, because his body is able to pass air containing oxygen gas through the respiratory system and into the cells of his body in order to make energy. After swimming practice ended one day, one of Will's closest friends, John, approached him and asked him if he wanted to hang out later that day. Will thought that the two boys would simply be playing video games like they do any other day. But, to Will's surprise, when the boys arrived at John's house, John took out a box of cigarettes and asked Will if he wanted to smoke. John had found his parents' cigarettes lying around the house and was curious as to what the appeal of smoking was. John wanted to try it with Will, but Will became very hesitant. Ever since gym class started, Will has become very knowledgeable about how our bodies breathe and how essential it is for us to receive oxygen. He heard that smoking was bad, especially for the lungs, which we need in fairly good condition for proper breathing. But Will was not even sure what smoking actually was. What is smoking? Why do people smoke? And how is it exactly bad for you and your health? Smoking is the use of a pipe or a cigarette to burn substances such as tobacco, and the smoke is subsequently tasted or inhaled. Tobacco contains many toxic particles, including nicotine, carbon monoxide, and tar. These toxic substances are harmful chemicals found in tobacco products, such as cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, and snuff. Tobacco users get these toxic materials into their bodies regardless of whether they smoke them or chew them. Combustion, or the use of heat, releases the active substances within tobacco and makes them easily available for absorption through the lungs and into our bloodstream. So why do people smoke in the first place if it contains poisonous chemicals and is not a healthy lifestyle? Many people begin to smoke due to curiosity. They believe that it's a cool thing to do because of its popularity in the media. They believe that most people, including their friends, like to smoke and are regular smokers. This is far from the truth. But people who decide to give smoking a try are faced with a dilemma. Whether they enjoy it or not, smokers who begin to smoke tobacco find it extremely difficult to stop. It is hard to quit because tobacco contains addictive chemicals. Nicotine, a powerful drug, is a stimulant that causes physical addiction by affecting our brain cells to want more and more of the substance. As people are forced to smoke more due to the addictive effects of nicotine, the body can build up tolerance to the chemical and require more nicotine than normal just to achieve the same satisfying effect. Now, Will understands what smoking is, why people smoke, and why it is hard to stop smoking. He tries to convince his friend John why it might be a bad idea to start smoking.
Hey John, I don't think you should smoke those cigarettes because they contain a lot of toxic chemicals found in tobacco and will eventually make you addicted. You will not be able to stop smoking because of the nicotine. Do you want to become dependent on a chemical for your own happiness? Will, you're not being cool right now. I just want to have fun. I am curious about how I will feel after smoking. And you're crazy. I am strong and will not get addicted. I will stop whenever I want. You should not start or try it. It is a really bad idea. Nicotine is extremely powerful. Fine. Give me a couple of other good reasons why smoking tobacco will hurt me. Well, tobacco contains 3 toxic substances, such as nicotine, tar, and carbon monoxide. Nicotine causes addiction. Tar and carbon monoxide make it difficult to obtain oxygen. What is tar? Tar is a black, sticky substance that is commonly used to pave roads. When smoking tobacco, the same tar ends up in our lungs and makes it difficult for the lungs to expand for more air. So it is hard to breathe and obtain more oxygen. Tar is also a carcinogen, a chemical that can cause cancer by disrupting normal cell cycle and mitotic functions. Smokers often find themselves facing cancers of the mouth and lungs. Wow, that's pretty bad. Tar actually sounds really scary. What is carbon monoxide then? Carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas that effectively competes with oxygen for the binding site on hemoglobin, the specialized protein on red blood cells that normally carry oxygen around the body. Hemoglobin likes to attach to carbon monoxide over oxygen if both gas molecules are present in the lungs. When carbon monoxide enters the body, it is transported by hemoglobin to all parts of the body, reducing oxygen uptake to essential cells and tissues and thus lowering energy production. That is why heavy cigarette smokers feel lightheaded because they do not get enough oxygen. To put the dangers in perspective, carbon monoxide is found in car exhaust and emitted by car fumes. If someone accidentally has the car turned on in a closed garage, the buildup of carbon monoxide would deprive all of your red blood cells of oxygen, and the cells of the body would die from oxygen starvation. Wow, that is also really bad. So, all of these chemicals are found in tobacco? Yes, they are released when the cigarette is burned, so be careful.
Will, knowing that smoking makes their breathing less efficient, has made up his mind not to smoke. Unfortunately, his friend John is still not convinced about the harmful effects of smoking. He wants to try it while Will is still over at his house. Well, these two boys should also be made aware of something called secondhand smoke. John, like other tobacco users, are not the only ones affected by the harmful chemicals of tobacco. Everyone physically around the smokers may be affected by the smoke when they breathe in the air that is contaminated with the toxic particles. This secondhand smoke has many of the same chemicals as the inhaled smoke, in addition to some others because it is not filtered. As a result, Will be experiencing the same, if not worse, effects of smoking even if he doesn't smoke the actual physical cigarette. As long as he stays by John while John is smoking, Will be breathing in the same smoky air as John. Will understands the dangers and leaves the house. He has done all that he can for his friend. It is now up to John to make the right decisions for his own body and health.